working in a high school, and in 2006, through breast screening, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. At the time, they thought it was very early, but once surgery was done, they discovered that it had gone into the lymphatic system. So the treatment was a little more radical. I had an auxiliary clearance, which meant the lymph nodes were all removed, and a lumpectomy. And that was followed by 6 months of chemotherapy and then radiotherapy. So it was quite lengthy treatment over about 12 months, I guess. Straight after that, I didn't have any sign of lymphedema, and I got back into a lot of exercise. And it was probably 18 months after that I discovered that I was starting to get fluid in the arm. I hadn't gone back to work at that stage, and I decided to focus on trying to learn to manage what was happening with my arm and what was happening with my body. I came down to Mount Wilga. They did a number of treatments on it, and we managed it quite well over a couple of years. But I then developed, had 3 bouts of cellulitis, so infection became a real problem for me. I had a 4th one within the 12 months, and the arm went backwards quite seriously then, because the texture in the arm changed. Fluid gathered fairly easily. Whenever I exercised or was in heat, the fluid would also accumulate, so it became quite a difficult management prospect. The only way I could manage it was by coming to Mount Wilga and the girls doing treatments on it, or we'd do intensive 2-week periods on it. But at the same time, I developed a fairly comprehensive program myself at home. I swam because I couldn't any longer exercise by walking or running because the arm would blow up. So swimming became my best friend, really, and I found swimming fantastic for it. It always moves the fluid out of the body, keeps the muscles fit. So I swim 3 times a week as a general rule, not religiously, but as a general rule. The other things that I've done at home are I do self-massage, and I do that not every day, not religiously every day, because the swimming is a form of massage anyway. I'd say every second day I self-massage, and I do that with a Lymphedema because I find massaging with my other arm just very tiring, and I get lazy and I don't do it as well. So I use a Lymphedema, which helps me massage it quite successfully, really. I also wear a Coresia at night now, and that's only something I've been doing in the last 12 months. And the Coresia is a sleeve that I put on the arm at night. Sometimes I overstrap it, sometimes I don't, depends on the state of the arm. If I'd had a big day exercising or gardening or something, I would always overstrap the Coresia. And I find that really maintains the arm very well. I still come to the clinic because I like to have the professionals look at the arm and do an assessment of it. I also find that it just accumulates fluid and sometimes gets texture change over the 12-month period, and I need someone else to work on it who is much better at massaging than me. And I find the laser works very well with it as well. So for me, it's been a combination of all of those things, and I've maintained it pretty well. The infection has been my biggest issue by far. It sets me back every time, and I've been on prophylactic antibiotics for 12 months to manage that. About to go off them, so we'll see what happens when I do. I actually think I've got the arm to a pretty good place at present. For me, in the future, it's life as usual. I can't let the lymphedema dictate what my life's like. I do allow it to. I can't. There are things I can't do now that I used to do. I used to be physically really active, and I wouldn't go out on a hot day and run or walk or garden or something like that because I would suffer the consequences after. But I don't see my future as any different to what it would have been, providing I keep on top of the self-management of the lymphedema and providing I swim. If I swim regularly, I find, I can just virtually do anything I want to do. I think if you're going to manage your lymphedema, you've got to be proactive. You can't rely on other people to manage it for you. To start with, it is a daily thing to deal with, so you can't be always asking other people to control it or help you with it on a daily basis. When I say being proactive, I think that's what I regard swimming as, being something that keeps the arm fit. It keeps the fluid moving in the arm, and it keeps the muscles turned so that they'll pump the fluid out of the arm. I think the other thing is, I think I underestimated originally the importance of self-massage. I was very lucky in that I had a partner who would do it for me, but you can't continually ask other people again to do it for you all the time. I purchased the Lymphedema, and I really did find that fantastic because it enables me to get to the shoulder, around the shoulder. It enables me to massage when I might be really tired just for a little while. But I think the single most important thing is to be vigilant, and to be vigilant particularly with infection. I'm very, very careful now about doing things, getting cuts on my hands, tiny little cuts there where the infection must have got in, because there was nothing I really noticed that should have led to an infection, but it was there, and once it's in there it takes a long time to move. So I guess that'd be my advice: vigilance with infection, exercise, proactive, and massaging. And get on with your life. I mean, we've got over cancer, so this one's just a management issue.